Okay, I was not going to make another political video, but hey, bear with me, especially if you're a dude voting in America. Just bear with me. And I'm doing this because YouTube comments were just over the top, hateful, stupid, meme based, and without any education of actually why you would vote for Harris. So I'm going to give you an example of why you would vote for Harris Walz that I don't think anybody else is talking about, and has nothing to do with the other guy, has nothing to do with women's rights issues, it has nothing to do with social issues. This is entirely self-centered for you. Okay, so do you remember Reaganomics? It was trickle down, right? So you can have a bunch of money up here and then it goes to the rich people and the rich people will give it to you. Yeah, it never worked out. So the Biden-Harris administration is going with what they call middle out, where they're trying to build the middle class. And with that, they understand a lot of those pain points. So it's just not about unions, right? Because we all know, like, raising minimum wage helps you lift out of poverty, but it does not give you a middle class lifestyle. They want to make you so that you can buy your video games and not have to worry about it, right? So you do that with unionization, but you also do that with removing a bunch of pain points that normally don't affect other people. Like, so if you're rich, your pain points are different than if you're not. So here, I'm booking flights the other day back to Cleveland, and we have to change dates, and we have a family emergency, and instead of like worrying about canceling and changing because Alaska Air was being horrible, I'm just like, we will deal with that later. If we have to eat that money, we'll just eat that money, but we'll just book tickets. I can spend money to buy my way out of a problem. Now, I don't like to do that, but I can do that. Back in the day, I couldn't do that, right? And so there's a whole bunch of people who just ignore that these are real problems that exist. And so they act like, oh, they're not real problems. They're not real taxes on people. They're not real taxes on people of the middle class. But here, you can now cancel a flight. If a flight gets canceled on you, they have to give you a refund, like right away. No more pissing around. Now, the airlines complains, oh, this is going to raise prices on flights. Hey, did game prices go up when you could do Steam refunds? No. They're pulling your leg, right? You can now also cancel any subscription you have. It has to be as easy to cancel a subscription as it is to sign up. Now, if you ever signed up for New York Times, the Health Club, or my least favorite, Teams, they've got to be better about it. And they got to warn you about the subscription coming up, and then you have to be able to cancel it. Who else is thinking about that? Who else, like, how much time have you wasted on that in your life that now is free? Because it's just going to be like, this administration cares about this. They're putting in place not a bunch of lousy bureaucracy that gets in your way, but actually helping you, materially helping you. And you know the other crazy thing they're doing? Fake reviews. Fake reviews you can no longer do. You would think that was illegal before. Ends up not really. But now it is. Now, legal and, you know what I'm saying. But you can no longer do it. And if you get caught doing it, like, you've got to get it down, you get penalized, and there's penalties around it. Now, if you go on Prime, you have to know what you're going to buy before you go to Amazon, because this is going to be just filled with garbage, right? It'll just be filled with garbage reviews. Well, now that won't happen anymore, right? And yes, they're outside the United States, blah, 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 but Amazon's now on the hook to clean this up. And while you'll still go off-site to figure stuff out, they ruin that mode of communication, right? They ruin that ability for us to communicate by leaving reviews, because it's just senseless now because it's overwhelmed by that. And again, this will take a while to actually come into effect and help, but that's one part of it. But the other thing, if you have a job, one of the things that they're helping you be able to raise your price, your value, is by trying to get rid of non-competes. Now, they got blocked in the courts, but now they'll be able to reconfigure how they approach the non-competes. Because think about if you were in the NFL and you couldn't change teams. You're like, hey, I'm a quarterback for the Browns. I hope you get injured. You did, good. All right, no. But like, you wouldn't be able to. You could go be a running back on another team. You couldn't take your knowledge of being a quarterback on another team. That would suppress your wages. Well, they're trying to get rid of that so that everybody can get their fair value of your wages. Because if your employer knows you can just go leave and go get higher wages elsewhere and take all your knowledge with you, this will help over time bring wages up. And so that's one of the things they're doing. And now I hear a lot of these mean things of like, oh, well, Biden-Harris ruined the economy. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Inflation is a worldwide thing. It's happening across the world. The Financial Times just had a special report calling this the U.S. is the envy of the Western world because of how we handled inflation. We handled it better than anybody. There's news reports today about how everyone was so scared that we were going to be in another recession or something, but instead there's a soft landing. And that's not going to happen. I get there is individual things happening that you may be out of work and trying to help, but still, right? Unemployment's low, the economy's up, the economy's doing well. It's doing way better than it did under Trump. Sorry for making the comparison, but I keep hearing that like she ruined the economy. She didn't. I hear things that she slept her way to the top. That is like a 12-year-old. It's got to be a 12-year-old saying that, right? But here's something that you may not know. This is how qualified she is. She is the only person in the history of the United States that when she becomes president will have served in all 3 branches of the government. Now, if you don't know what the different branches of the government are, there's a TV show that used to be on our TV commercial called Schoolhouse Rock. Go watch it. It was made for like 4th graders. We still need it. We still need it because people don't seem to understand. But that'll explain how important that is. But so that is what the things that Harris is doing that you can be selfish about. You can say, I don't care about anybody else. I want these things for me. I want to be able to cancel subscriptions. I want to be able to care about these things that they care about. And think about it. There's some big hubbubaloo now, right, about game preservation and all of that. Which side do you think is thinking about that? Because I'll tell you what, Lina Khan, I'm sure, has got that on her plate somewhere. And again, that's a complicated problem that I don't want to see solved the way that some people want to see it solved. I want to see it solved other ways. But just have that thought, have that brain thought that this is an administration that for the first time ever is looking at that and letting her go on for another 4 years of just getting rid of all this cruft in our life, all these pain points in our life. Man, again, don't be a good guy and vote for Harris, Waltz, for anything else except for yourself. And if you go around and look, if you care about yourself, this is why you're going to do it.